What's up? Big Herc 916. Positivity, motivation. You know how we do it over here. Go to bigherc916.com, pick you up some merch, grab you a hat, a t-shirt, bar soap, wash your ass. Yeah, man, the divide is their power. Fear is their power. They don't want us to feel we have a connection. They want us to feel that we're all isolated. Therefore, we can't come together for a greater cause. You know, Jane Elliott, I've listened to some of her stuff before, and a lot of people may not agree with what she has to say, but I think she makes some valid points. And when you get past the whole racism thing, what really is the dividing factor when it comes to society?
You are all members of the same race, the human race, which every one of you, if you trace your DNA back far enough, you're going to find that some of your DNA came from Africa, because we all have the same ancestor back there, every single one of us. And those of you who think you don't have are obviously from outer space. Now, that means that every one of us is a 30th to 50th cousin to every other person in this room. People, we have to get rid of the language of racism. I'm not a teacher. Teachers dispense facts and figures so that they can get their kids ready for the end of school testing. I've been called a trainer. You train dogs and horses and members of the military. I don't train people. I'm an educator. The word educator comes from the root duc-dus, which means lead, the prefix e, which means out, the suffix ate, which means the act of, and the suffix or, which means one who does. An educator is one who is engaged in the act of leading people out of ignorance. In this country, we spend a lot of money on what we call education. It isn't education, it's indoctrination.
Racism has been used to imperialize, colonize, and systematically destroy cultures. You've had those for religious purposes come in and tell the Aborigines that the way they were living was wrong. You've had whole cultures enslaved because of the whole perception of race and who's superior. Who is superior? Is there a such thing? Or is it a mental construct that has been indoctrinated to make one particular culture or quote unquote race feel like they're better than the other? You know, growing up, man, I never really looked at race or culture. I like certain things. You know, I listen to all kind of music. I've listened to classic rock, jazz, hip hop, R&B, even some country stuff, you know. But I never looked at it like as a white guy singing country, black guy singing R&B, you know, white guy, you know, playing jazz. I never looked at it like that. I never heard the N-word until probably high school. So when I look at everything going on now and how it's so magnified and how they're using the race baiting, the different terminologies to keep us feeling like we can't talk in the sense of, if this problem is a black problem, it's a black problem. If this problem is a white problem, it's a white problem. This problem is a Mexican problem, it's a Mexican problem, or a Hispanic problem. Every community does have their issues pertaining to things relating to individuals that look like themselves, but overall, if we communicated more and shared our ideas, we could work out a lot of the problems in each community by having those elders or seniors or whoever you want to call them, scholars in those communities, sharing ideas that have helped them elevate among each other. I go back to when I was in the pen and I seen an OG from like say the Northern car, or say the Compton car, or say the Bay Area, and you would talk to them. Each one of them had a level of knowledge that was articulated in a way that it could resonate with each of the other different cars within the penitentiary. But these different cars didn't communicate on a regular unless there was a situation which they were trying to diffuse. Well, on the street, it's the same thing. But if we're not working together, it works better for those who are looking to control us. And those looking to control us are these neocons, these globalists, these people who want us to be herded while they own everything, run everything. Their kids don't hang out with our kids and they feel like they are empowered, better than us. They're not better, man. They're not better. They're just hoarding opportunities and its connections. They're not better. We have the ability down here, if you want to call it down here, to make a difference if we open our minds up and stop thinking about race. The race is what the whole 2020 election was about. They made it a racial election, and that's how they got the individual right now who's got us in this almost World War III reset situation, economic situation, and people are still looking at race. It's not about race, man. It's bigger than that. And I'm not saying that there's not racial people out there. There are. What is it? And the xenophobia. There are people who are, no matter how you put it, against interacting with others who don't look like themselves. And they have a lot of hate from past situations. But there's the same mentality in places where people look the same, but because they have different religious beliefs or different tribal beliefs, they don't like each other. But at the end of the day, you have to come to the table if you want to resolve these issues. So all I'm saying is let's come to the table and look at the bigger picture so we can win, so we can get out of this mental slavery and elevate and utilize all our resources. This guy might have this resource, this person has this resources. We could rise up. It's okay to be a millionaire. But they don't want you to know that. They want you to stay down here. They want you to be dependent. F that, man. Let's go get it. All of us, let's go get it together. Black, white, Native American, Asian, let's go get it, man. F these people, man. I'm not worshiping them. I'm not eating crickets. I'm not over here gonna sit in the house while you do your thing in a private jet and run around and laugh and be a slave. Hell no, man. I'm not bowing down, man. I didn't bow down in prison. I'm not bowing down out here. And I don't want you to bow down. Think. Do you not see the big picture? The more you get out and you talk to people, you realize a lot of us have the same issues, man. It's not us. We're not the enemy. It's those who are trying to control us to keep us in this Hunger Games type mentality, this fear-based shit. Rise up, man. Use your mind for something bigger than hate and anger, because the people that you think that are against you, your neighbors, they're not the enemies, man. There's people right now who are trying to stop this global bullshit. I call it bullshit, because I'm not with having some foreign person tell me how to live my life and giving up all my rights, my Bill of Rights and my constitutional rights. I'm not with it, man. And I know, like, America's not perfect. I know there's a lot of racial undertones in this country's development and its history, but opportunity, we have so much of it here. And I'm willing to work with anybody. I don't care if you're African. I don't care if you're German. I don't care if you're Nigerian, if you're Guatemalan, Honduran. If you got a good heart and you want to elevate consciousness, let's get down. If you're with the hate, you're with the bullshit, you're with the violence, you're trying to hurt people, hey man, I don't want nothing to do with you. And you got what you got coming. But otherwise, we need to rise up above this racial shit, man. You know, there's bad seeds in every batch. Not everybody is part of the hate. And you do got some evil people in certain areas who want to perpetuate that. Let's wake up, man. Big Kirk 916. I didn't start off as a bad kid. Officially, I only got one real spanking my entire life. My mom did the best a 14-year-old could do, raising me with love and instilling values that will last a lifetime. I was a straight A student and lived to make her happy. So how did I go astray? A horrible stepdad that stole my self-worth and invoked fear turned me into a person that I struggled to overcome. From skateboarding to selling drugs, gang banging in juvenile hall, I got caught the same way many young promising men get caught up. I struggled to find my identity, getting mixed up in shootouts, crime, and the adult entertainment industry. This roller coaster continued as I juggled college, hustling, and Hollywood, eventually catching a federal bank robbery case. I found redemption in prison while serving a 120-month federal sentence and came out a man on a mission. I became a social media influencer with over 500 million views on YouTube and a life coach mentoring people all over the world. This is my journey against all odds. Go to BigKirk916.com and purchase you a bar of soap, one of the books I've written, a hat, a beanie, a t-shirt, tank top, or some detail spray for your car. Lockdown's over. Get your yard time in. Exclusively at FreshOutSeries.com.